Hello, this is Heather Hoffman, and I have a super clean and simple card to share with you today using the January 2020 card kit from Simon Says Stamp called Snowflake Builder. I'm mainly focusing on the beautiful stamp set in the kit for this card, and I'm starting off by die cutting a window. This is going to be something I can use as a stencil for the front of my white card base. And I just used some scrap white paper from my stash, but I trimmed it to roughly the same size as my white card front. And then I used Simon Says stitched rectangles to die cut that window in there. And I'm going to adhere it with a little bit of Post-it tape to my card base. And then one thing I've discovered, sometimes those stitched circles or the little stitch marks around the square, they kind of cut out so well that a little bit of ink leaks through. And I'm planning on picking up the basic squares here soon. But if you only have stitched, run a little bit of Post-it tape around those edges, and that'll kind of block out that spot, but you'll still have that nice square to work with. All right, I'm going to use a blend of Distress Oxide inks. I'm starting off with Festive Berries, and then I'm going to come in with Fired Brick and Aged Mahogany. And I'm just using a blending brush and starting with my lightest, layering a little bit over of the next color, and then building in with the darkest at the very bottom. The blending brushes allow it just to layer nice and smooth and just give a great ombre effect on that. All right, now I'm going to add some splatters because I love Distress Oxides with splatters. I keep a little mini mister bottle with Perfect Pearls on hand all the time because I like to use them a lot. And I kind of just swirl it together every time I use it to mix them. I store it on its side because I feel like it mixes in a little quicker that way. You can also put a little bit of Perfect Pearls on a palette or something else and mix it with a little water with a paintbrush and add the splatters that way. All right. Now that I've got the Perfect Pearls, I wanted a little bit of deeper splatters, so I grabbed that Aged Mahogany and kind of smooshed it onto a clear stamp block, and I'm going to add a little water with a small paintbrush and then use that to add some darker splatters as well. Just a little more texture and a fun little extra addition to this. And then as one final touch, I'm adding some white paint splatters. This is just white acrylic paint that I mix with water to a good consistency for splatters, and keep in another mini mister to make it easy to put on. It's roughly half and half water, half acrylic paint, but it's just something I use a lot, so I keep it on hand. So you can mix it up just enough for one card as well. All right, now we've got that square done. I'm going to peel off that mask one little bit at a time there. And the way I adhered it actually made it easier to pull the whole thing off. And there we have a perfect fun window on the front. I think this would be fun to mix and match lots of different colors. You could easily make a note card set with this design and just change out the ink blending colors. All right, I picked a snowflake that's a little bit bigger than my square there because I wanted it to extend a little bit past the edges but mostly fit it, so the size was similar, but having it kind of pop out of that square adds a great little bit of dimension onto a flat one layer card. Now the fun thing with the Snowflake Builder stamp set is each one is connected with a second part, so you can use each one individually or pair them together for a very intricate design. I want to play with this more with stamping in different ink colors and kind of mixing and matching that way, but for now I just went ahead and stamped this with black VersaFine ink right over the top of that distress ink blending, using my Misty to make sure I get a perfect impression. And then there was a little tiny sentiment in there, and I ended up deciding to use that stamped outside the square, right on the bottom, and kind of off to the side a little bit, just to add a little bit of movement to this card design. And that right there finishes off this card. Nice and simple, one layer, easy to mail. Would be great to make a set for gift giving and change up the design, but also fun just to pop in the mail to someone who needs something to brighten their day. Thanks so much for coming by today. I hope you enjoyed and have a wonderful day.